Cain dumped his God-given wife in a dusty village, chasing pride, comfort.
I will follow you. You not live in the village continuously.
After making me pregnant, you're my...
Wow! I will follow you.
He thought escape meant success, but destiny has a memory, and God keeps records. I'm leaving, he said. I'm done with this village life. Neka's mouth opened, but no words came out at first, just a painful sound, like something inside her had cracked. Then she spoke, slowly, clearly, so everybody would hear. So, you want to leave me? Like this? Pregnant? In front of everyone? Keen's eyes darted away. He could not look at her belly for too long. You will manage, he said. That sentence hit the village like thunder. One of the older women, Mama Ejiro, stepped forward with her hands on her waist. Kene, she shouted. Is that your child inside her? Kene froze for half a second. His throat moved like he swallowed something bitter. He didn't answer. Another man, tall and loud, called Uche, spat on the ground. So you're running because town girls are waiting for you, Abi? The crowd murmured louder. Neka looked at Kene like she was searching his face for a softer version of him, like she was hoping the man she knew would step forward and push this cruel man away. But Kene's face stayed hard. He lifted his suitcase and started walking again. Neka's knees suddenly went weak. She dropped to the ground, not fully sitting, more like collapsing. Ah, she cried, gripping her belly. My baby! My baby! Keen stopped again. For a second, his eyes softened. For one short moment, guilt rose in him like nausea. But then he heard someone whisper, He's pretending. He will still leave. And pride returned. He turned his face away, like he didn't hear her groaning. He walked to the end of the village road where a motorbike waited. The rider was already looking uneasy, glancing back at the crowd. Keen, you sure you want to go like this? The rider asked under his breath. Keen nodded. Just go. He climbed on. The rider started the engine. Neka saw it. Her eyes widened in panic. She tried to stand, but the women held her. Keen! She screamed, louder than before, so loud that birds flew from the palm trees. Keen, please, don't leave me! Don't leave your child! Keen didn't respond. He didn't wave. He didn't even look back. The motorbike jerked forward and he disappeared into the dusty road like a man escaping a crime. And behind him, the village stood frozen around a pregnant woman whose cry sounded like a funeral. That day, something died. Not the baby. Not yet. But something in Neka died. Something soft. Something trusting. Something hopeful. And the village, no matter how much they whispered or pitied her, could not bring it back. Years later, the same road he fled became the place where truth, loss, and divine repayment finally found him there alone. Watch till the end. You will discover that God is with the heart broken. Please subscribe to this channel for more true life lessons. The days after. He left. The first week was the worst. Neka didn't eat well. She didn't sleep well. She didn't talk unless someone forced her to. Her mother tried to feed her porridge, holding the spoon close to her mouth like she was feeding a child. Neka, eat, her mother begged. This baby needs strength. Neka would stare at the wall and whisper, Kene said I will manage. Her mother would flinch like she had been stabbed. Sometimes Neka would suddenly sit up at night, sweating, breathing hard. I heard his footsteps, she would say, eyes wide. I heard him coming back. But when they rushed outside, the compound was quiet. Only crickets, only darkness, only the truth. Kene was gone, and the village didn't let Neka forget it. When she walked to the stream, women would pause their washing and stare. Some pity looked heavy and warm. Some pity looked sharp and insulting. Poor thing, they would whisper. She was foolish, someone else would say. One day, she will learn, another would add, like pregnancy was punishment. Neka learned quickly that shame doesn't need a mouth. It lives in people's eyes. Even her belly became a public announcement. Every step she took, her belly spoke for her. It said, "I trusted a man who ran." Her childhood friend Ada tried to keep her company. She would sit with Neka under the mango tree, peeling oranges and talking about nonsense, forcing laughter like medicine. But one day, Ada couldn't hold it in anymore. "Auntie Neka," she said softly, "what did Kene tell you before he left?" Neka's fingers paused on the orange peel. She swallowed. "He said town will change everything," Neka replied, voice low. "He said he will get a job and come back with money. He said he will marry me properly." Ada shook her head slowly. "And you believed him?" Neka's eyes filled with tears again. "I believed the man I loved," she whispered. "Was I supposed to doubt him?" Ada had no answer, because that was the pain. Love makes you trust the wrong person like it's a holy command. Then, 2 weeks later, labor came early. It was a storm that didn't warn anyone. Neka was in the kitchen trying to stir soup when her body seized. She gasped, dropping the spoon. Pain rolled through her like fire. She held her belly and shouted, "Mama!" Her mother ran in. Blood had stained her wrapper. The old women screamed orders. "Call the midwife! Get hot water! Hold her! Pray!" Neka's cries rose to the sky. Every scream carried Kene's name, even if she didn't speak it. The labor was hard. Too hard. Her body shook. Her hands clawed at the mat. Her face twisted like she was fighting death. At one point, the midwife's face turned serious. "Her blood pressure is high," she muttered. "If she doesn't push well, we may lose her." Neka heard it. Fear widened her eyes. "Please," she begged, voice hoarse. "Please, I don't want to die. I don't want my baby to die." Her mother cried, pressing her head against Neka's shoulder. "Push, my daughter," her mother begged. "Push and live." And Neka pushed like a woman wrestling for her future. Hours later, a baby boy came out, slippery and screaming. The cry filled the room like a miracle. The women shouted, "He is alive!" Someone clapped. Someone started praising God. Neka lay there, exhausted, eyes half closed, sweat on her lips. Her mother placed the baby on her chest. The baby's tiny fingers curled against her skin. Neka stared at him, tears rolling down her cheeks. "My son," she whispered, "your father ran, but you did not." She kissed his forehead. Then she said something nobody expected. "I will not chase Kene." The room went quiet. The midwife frowned. "You will raise a child alone?" Neka's eyes hardened. "I will raise him with God," she replied. "I will not beg a man who left me like rubbish." Her mother sighed, half relieved, half afraid, because raising a child alone in that village was like climbing a hill with bare feet. But Neka had made up her mind. She named the boy Chidera, God has written, because she needed to believe that God still had a plan, even when a man had destroyed her own. Kene's new life. In the city, Kene's life started fast and sweet, like soft bread in the morning. He arrived with his suitcase, a phone with cracks, and pride like a crown. At first, he stayed with a friend named Dell in a small room that smelled like sweat and cheap perfume. Dell worked as a sales guy and always talked big. "City is not for weak people," Dale would say, laughing. "If you have heart, you will eat." Kene wanted to eat. He wanted to wear good shoes and smell like rich men. He wanted to prove something. To the village, to his father's ghost, to himself. He found a job quickly, not because he was lucky, but because he was desperate. It was a warehouse job, loading goods, sweating all day, back aching. But when his first pay came, he felt powerful. He bought new jeans. He bought a chain for his neck. He sent pictures to old friends with captions like, "City don't bless me." He did not mention Neka. Not once. He told himself she would be fine. He told himself village women are strong. He told himself he would send money later. Then later became months. Months became years. Kene's job changed. He became a delivery supervisor, then a small manager. He learned how to talk like a city man. He learned how to look people in the eye and lie with confidence. He learned how to laugh without feeling. And one day, at a party, he met a woman named Tessa. Tessa was modern, sharp, always smelling like expensive lotion. She wore high heels that made her look taller than Kene's village dreams. She asked him where he was from, and Kene hesitated. He didn't want to say village. So he said, "I'm from around." Tessa laughed. "Around where? Mars?" Kene forced a smile. "From the eastern side." Tessa liked him because he looked hungry. Hungry men try harder. Hungry men buy gifts even when they can't afford them. Hungry men promise the world. Kene promised. They started dating. Tessa lived in a flat with bright tiles and a TV bigger than Kene's childhood room. When Kene slept there, he felt like he had entered a new life. He stopped thinking of Neka. Or maybe he thought of her, but pushed the memory away like a bad smell. Then one day, Tessa said, "My uncle knows someone in the bank. If you're serious with me, you can rise faster." Kene heard rise, and his eyes shone. He proposed. They did a small court wedding. Kene wore a suit. He smiled in pictures. He held Tessa's waist like a man who had never touched a village woman before. He never told Tessa about Neka. He never told anyone. He buried the village like a secret. And for a while, life rewarded him. Back in the village, Chidera grew with two things: love from his mother, and silence where his father should have been. As a toddler, Chidera would point at men passing by and ask, "Mama, that one my daddy?" Neka would swallow hard and say no. Then she would smile and distract him with a mango. But as Chidera got older, he started noticing patterns. At school, fathers came for visits. Fathers paid school fees. Fathers carried children on their shoulders after church. Chidera had none of that. One day, after a football match, Chidera watched another boy jump into his father's arms. The father lifted him, laughing, spinning him around. Chidera stood there, sweating, dust on his knees and something heavy on his heart. He walked home quiet. Neka noticed. "Dara, what is it?" she asked. Chidera sat down slowly. He stared at his feet. "Where is my father?" he asked, voice small. Neka's heart squeezed. She wanted to lie. She wanted to protect her son's innocence. But she had learned something. Lies grow into bigger pain. So she spoke the truth, gently. "Your father left," she said, "before you were born." Chidera blinked. "Why?" Neka's throat tightened. "Because he wanted another life." Chidera's eyes filled with tears, but he fought them. "Did he hate me?" Neka grabbed his face with both hands, forcing him to look at her. "No," she said firmly. "Never think that. Your father made a selfish choice. That choice is his shame, not yours." Chidera's lips trembled. "Will he come back?" Neka inhaled slowly. "I don't know," she admitted. "But I know God will not leave you." Chidera nodded slowly, but the question stayed inside him like a thorn. And thorns don't disappear by prayer alone. They hurt until something removes them. Neka worked hard. She farmed. She sold vegetables. She joined a women's cooperative. She took small loans and paid them back. She did everything to keep Chidera in school. People respected her strength, but some still whispered, "A woman raising a child without a man. It's not easy." Neka heard them, and she kept moving, because bitterness wouldn't feed her son. Years passed. Chidera became a teenager, tall, broad shoulders, eyes like Neka's, but harder. He was smart. He won debates at school. Teachers liked him. But sometimes when he got angry, his anger looked like a fire searching for a target. One day, an older boy mocked him. "Fatherless boy," the boy said, laughing. "Go and ask your mother who your father is." Chidera snapped. He grabbed the boy's collar and slammed him against the wall. Teachers rushed in, pulling Chidera back. Chidera's chest rose and fell like a drum. His eyes were red. "Say it again," he growled. "Say it again." The boy's laughter died. Chidera got suspended. When he came home, Neka didn't shout. She didn't beat him. She sat him down. "Dara," she said softly, "your father's absence is not your identity." Chidera stared at the floor. "It feels like it," he whispered. Neka's eyes watered. She reached for his hand. "You will not become bitter," she said. "You will become better. Promise me." Chidera's fingers tightened around hers. "I promise," he said, but his voice sounded like a man trying to believe his own words. The truth finds. Kene's downfall didn't start with a big disaster. It started small. A crack, then another. Then the whole wall fell. Tessa got pregnant, but the pregnancy didn't last. She lost it. She cried for weeks. Kene tried to comfort her, but he didn't know how. He had never learned how to sit with pain. He only knew how to run from it. Tessa started changing. She became cold. She became sharp. She started blaming him for everything. "You're not supportive," she would snap. "You don't talk. You're hiding something." Kene would deny. But guilt has a smell, and Tessa was a woman with a nose for secrets. One evening, she found an old photo in Kene's suitcase. It was a picture of young Kene and Neka at a village festival, smiling. Tessa stared at it. When Kene came in, she held it up. "Who is this?" Kene froze. His mouth opened, then closed. Tessa's eyes narrowed. "Answer me." Kene forced a laugh. "Just someone from back then?" Tessa's voice rose. "Someone? You took a picture with someone like this?" Kene's throat went dry. Tessa stepped closer. "Kene, do you have a child?" Kene's chest tightened. The room felt smaller. His lies suddenly felt heavy. Tessa stared at him like a hunter. "Do you have a child?" Kene's silence answered. Tessa's face twisted in disgust. You liar," she shouted, throwing the photo at him. "So, while you were here playing husband, you left a woman somewhere pregnant?" Kene tried to speak. It's exactly what it is," Tessa screamed. Get out of my house." They fought. Neighbors heard. Kene's bank job started suffering because his mind was not steady. He made mistakes. He got warnings. Then one day his boss called him in. "Kene," the boss said calmly, "your performance has dropped. We're letting you go." Kene's stomach dropped. "Sir, please." The boss shook his head. "I'm sorry." Kene walked out with his head hot and his hands cold. He tried to call friends, but friends are loyal only when you're useful. Dell had moved on. Others gave excuses. Money finished faster than Kene expected. His rent piled up. His pride cracked. He started drinking. He started waking up with headaches and fear. Then one morning his phone rang. Unknown number. He hesitated, then answered. "Hello?" A male voice replied, calm and deep. "Is this Kene Okafor?" Kane's heart skipped. Nobody called him that full village name anymore. "Yes," he said carefully. "Who is this?" "This is Pastor Cheek from your village," the voice said. "I'm calling because your son is here." Kane's breath caught. My who?" "Your son," Pastor Cheeky repeated. "Chidera. He came to see me. He asked for your number." Kene sat up straight, suddenly dizzy. "Chidera?" he whispered. He's alive?" There was a pause. Pastor Cheek's voice turned firm. "He is alive, yes, and he is not a child anymore." Kene's throat tightened. Something inside him, something he had buried, started crawling back to life. What does he want?" Kene asked, voice shaking. Pastor Cheeky sighed. He said he doesn't want money, the pastor replied. He wants answers. Kene stared at the wall. Answers. That word sounded like judgment. Kene's voice came out small. Tell him I will call back. Pastor Cheek didn't respond immediately. Then he said something that sat heavy in Kene's chest. Kene, there are some things you can run from, but you can't outrun truth forever. The call ended. Kene sat there for a long time, breathing like a man who had been chased into a corner. Then his phone buzzed again. A message, a simple text. I'm Chidera. I'm coming to see you. Don't run. Kene's hands shook. He read it again and again. His son, a human being. Not a rumor. Not a forgotten mistake. A living person coming to face him. Kene suddenly felt like the bus dust from years ago had followed him to the city. Only this time there was nowhere to hide. When Father Meet's son Chidera arrived in the city with one small bag and a face that didn't beg, he found Kene's address through the pastor and through determination. When he knocked on Kene's door, Kene opened slowly, and for a second, both of them froze. Because the resemblance was loud. Chidera had Kene's height, Kene's jawline, Kene's eyes, but Chidera's eyes carried something Kene didn't have anymore. Discipline. Chidera didn't smile. Kene, he said. Kene's throat went dry. He wanted to say, my son, but his mouth couldn't produce that softness yet. Chidera, Kene replied, voice low. Chidera stepped in. His gaze swept the room, small, messy, smelling like regret. He noticed empty bottles. He noticed unpaid bills on the table. He noticed Kene's tired face. Chidera's expression didn't change. He sat down slowly. Kene sat opposite him, hands clasped, as if he was praying. Silence sat between them like a third person. Then Chidera spoke. I saw pictures of you online, he said calmly. Suit, car, wife. Kene flinched. Chidera continued, voice steady. I watched you become a man, while my mother became two parents. Kene swallowed hard. Chidera leaned forward slightly. I'm not here to fight you, he said. I'm not here to beg you. I just want to ask you one question. Kene's voice cracked. Okay. Chidera stared straight into his eyes. Why did you leave? Kene's chest tightened. Memories hit him like stones. Neka crying. Villagers staring. The motorbike pulling away. Her scream calling his name. Kene blinked fast. I was young, he whispered. Chidera's face stayed serious. You were old enough to sleep with her, Chidera replied. Old enough to make promises. Kene's eyes dropped. Chidera's voice rose slightly, not shouting, but firm like truth. My mother almost died giving birth to me, he said. Did you know that? Kene's breath caught. Chidera continued. She carried water with one hand and held me with another. She sold tomatoes in the sun. She cried at night and still woke up to cook for me. Kene's eyes watered. Chidera's jaw tightened. And you were here, building a life like we didn't exist. Kene couldn't hold it anymore. Tears slipped out. But they were not tears that could erase years. They were the kind of tears that come when a lie finally collapses. I'm sorry, Kene whispered. I'm sorry. Chidera watched him, face unreadable. Then he asked another question. Do you love my mother? Kene froze. Love? He didn't even know what love was anymore. He had chased comfort. He had chased pride. He had chased status. But love? Kene's voice came out broken. I don't know, he admitted. I hurt her. Chidera stood up suddenly. Kene flinched, thinking his son might hit him. But Chidera didn't. He just stood there, tall, steady. Then I will tell you what I want, Chidera said. Kene looked up, eyes red. Chidera spoke slowly, clearly. I don't want your money. I don't want your name. I don't want you to pretend now. Kene's lips trembled. Chidera continued. I want you to go back to the village. Kane's stomach dropped. Chidera's eyes hardened. I want you to look at the woman you abandoned. I want you to look at the people you shamed. I want you to stand on that same road and face the dust you ran from. Kane shook his head slightly. They will hate me. Chidera replied, cold but honest. They should. Kane's face twisted in pain. Chidera took a deep breath. And if you want forgiveness, he added, voice softer now, you will earn it. Not by talking, not by crying, but by showing up. Kene nodded slowly, tears falling. Chidera picked up his bag. I'm going back tomorrow, he said. If you're a man, follow me. Then he walked out. Kane sat there shaking, because the boy he abandoned had become the man he was never brave enough to be. The next day, Kane followed. Not because it was easy, not because he was strong, but because he was tired of running. On the bus ride back, he stared out the window as villages passed. Each one looked like a version of the life he had rejected. His stomach churned, his hands sweated. He imagined Neka's face. He imagined villagers throwing insults. He imagined being chased. He imagined being spat on. And deep inside, he knew. He deserved it. Chidera sat 2 seats away, silent. He didn't talk to Kane. He didn't comfort him. He wasn't there to hold Kane's hand through consequences. He was there to witness truth. When the bus finally entered the village, Kane's heart pounded. The same dusty road, the same palms, the same rust-colored ground. People looked up. They recognized Chidera first. Then they saw Kane, and the air changed. Whispers started like wind. Is that him? That's Kane. He came back? After all these years? Women gathered. Men stepped out of shade. Children followed behind, curious. Kane stepped down from the bus, slowly. His legs felt weak. Chidera stepped down beside him, calm like stone. Kane heard a woman's voice shout from the crowd. Hey! So shame has finally brought him back, laughter erupted. Not happy laughter, the kind that carries pain. Then the crowd parted, and Neka appeared. She was older now, stronger. Her shoulders looked like they had carried years. Her eyes were calm, but deep. She stared at Kane like she was looking at a stranger. Kane's chest tightened. He took a step forward. Neka, he whispered. Neka didn't answer. She looked at Chidera instead. My son, she said softly. Chidera nodded. Mama. Then Neka's eyes returned to Kene. What do you want? She asked, voice steady. Kene opened his mouth, but words struggled. Because sorry sounded too small. Because I was young sounded like an insult. Because nothing he could say would give her back what he stole. So he did the only thing his pride had refused to do years ago. He dropped his bag. He sank to his knees on the dusty road, in front of everyone. The crowd gasped. Neka's eyes widened slightly. Kane's voice cracked as he spoke loud enough for the village to hear. I was wrong, he said. I left you. I left my child. I shamed you. I lied. I ran. His throat tightened. He swallowed tears. I have no excuse, he continued. I don't deserve forgiveness. But I came back to face what I did. Some villagers murmured. Someone spat on the ground. Neka stared down at him, face unreadable. Kene lifted his eyes, tears shining. I'm sorry, he whispered again. I'm sorry. Silence stretched. Then Neka spoke, calm and sharp. Stand up. Kene flinched, thinking she was about to insult him, but she repeated louder. Stand up. Kene slowly stood. Neka stepped closer until they were face to face. Her voice dropped low, but the whole village still felt it. You didn't just leave me, she said. You left your child's future. You left my dignity. You left my sleep. You left my joy. Kene nodded, tears falling. Neka's eyes glistened, but her voice stayed firm. Do you know how many nights I begged God not to hate you? She asked. Do you know how many times I held my belly and cried because I felt stupid? Kene's chest rose and fell like he was choking. Nneka took a breath. Then she said something that shocked everyone. I am not your wife. The crowd murmured. Neka continued. I am not waiting for you. I am not chasing you. I built my life without you. Kene nodded, broken. Neka looked at Chidera, her voice softening. But this is your son, she said. And you will not walk into his life like you're doing him a favor. She turned back to Kene. If you want to be a father now, she said, you will start from the ground. You will earn trust. You will respect boundaries. You will accept consequences. Kene nodded again. Yes, he whispered. Yes. Neka's eyes narrowed slightly. And you will never shame me again, she added. Never. Keen's voice shook. Never. Neka stepped back. Then she said one final thing. If God can bring you back to this road, then maybe God can change you. The village went quiet. Because that was not bitterness. That was strength. Chidera looked at his mother with respect. Kene stood there shaking, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Hope, that was painful.